Hello, I'm Kathe Todd-Hooker. I am co-owner of the business Fine Fiber Press with Pat Spark. We have a web presence at, our website is www.finefiberpress.com. Our email address is finefiberpress@comcast.net. For those of you who are not, are from Canada or Australia or New Zealand, please note that we spell fiber, F-I-B-E-R, not F-I-B-R-E. Thank you. Okay, today what I want to do is we want to discuss bobbins. Bobbins are tools that allow you to organize your thread and keep it in order. And evidently, they can be difficult if you've never seen one before and the proper way to do it. So I thought, first of all, we would discuss just the different types of bobbins that exist. We have Gobalon bobbins, which is the bobbin that I started on many, many years ago. And they're very large, and they're great if you have a large loom. But with the smaller looms that most people are using now, it's almost impossible to use very many of these at a time. And they take up a lot of space, and they really do hold way too much yarn for the average weaver. One of the things that I have done, is I switched to the Swedish bobbin because it's smaller, it fits my hand better, and I can get more picks faster, or I can go through the weft more times or faster because of the fact there's not so much to try and pull through, and it holds an adequate amount of fiber or yarn or weft for what I'm doing. But sometimes this bobbin is too small around the barrel. Let me describe what a bobbin is first of all. A bobbin has a knob, which is the top here. It has the barrel, which is down here. It has a tip, and it also has a place for holding the yarn or the weft. So some people were having trouble with this bobbin, because it's too small for them to hold, and so we designed a small bobbin that had a larger barrel, so it's much easier to hold for people that might have trouble holding onto a small cylinder. Okay. We also have designed bobbins like the Petite, which is much smaller for small hands and children, or just people that want a smaller bobbin. It's about 3.5 inches long, where the Swedish bobbin is 5.5 inches long. We also have made for us British bobbins from the British tradition. This is a British bobbin. Please note its size. It's fairly big, especially if you compare it to the Gobalon bobbin. Okay. Well, one day we had a mistake that was made when we were ordering British bobbins, and we ended up with this size of bobbin. And they both do the same. They both function the same way, but they're both based on the British bobbin tradition. One of the things that you can, excuse me, this is an Aubusson bobbin. We also call these bones because they look a little bit like chicken bones. And they're usually used on looms that are low warp, which means that the warp is parallel to the ground. And they are made so that when you put them down on the loom, that they don't roll as easily, and they don't have ends with points that can get caught in the warp as you work. Now, if you're using the wooden bobbins, one of the things you're not supposed to do, because it can have very bad effects, especially if you break a tip, is pry with the tip of the bobbin. So if you're not, so you might want to also have what's known as just an awl like this, and you want the awl to be short because you want your hand as close to the weaving as you can get it, so that you don't accidentally, when you push through like this, come down and snag the tapestry. And so ice picks look nice and they're large, but you need something smaller like an awl. Now, if you don't want to have an awl, one of the things you can do is use what's called a brassy bob. These are the two brassy bobs that we carry. One is 5.5 and one is 6.5 inches. And their advantage is that they have this brassy tip that allows you to pry and move things around without worrying about breaking a tip. And we base these on the size of bobbins that I like to use, and I like to have my students use. I prefer the small 5.5 inch one because, like I said, I have small hands, or at least I like small tools. And Anyway, so these are the bobbins that we have. And we also carry books, which are the Tapestry 101, which describes the process of wrapping a bobbin and how to use them. And also in the lines in tapestry, there is a description of how to wrap a bobbin and how to use a bobbin. We have two other books that also have small amounts about bobbins. This is Shaped Tapestry, and there are several descriptions of using a bobbin or how a bobbin is used in it. And then in the So Warped book, which is our latest book, you'll find that we've used bobbins, or the sharp tip bobbins, for moving warps around. And you'll find those in here, but not specifically how to wrap the bobbin. Okay, petite, fairy, Swedish, British mistake, Gobelan, two brassy bobs, Aubusson, and the awl.